3, strike 2. Here goes. Ground ball. Beckert up with it. The throw to Banks. It's a no-hitter. It's a no-hitter for Kenny Holtzman. Look at this. Oh, brother. Everybody on the edge of his seat here at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Watch it now. Strike 3. It's a no-hitter for Kenny Holtzman. He did it again. Look at this riot down there. Look at this mob scene off the Cub bench. Kenny Holtzman has pitched his second no-hitter. The Cubs win a 1-0 miracle ball game. A Hall of Fame performance by Kenny Holtzman. Look at this. A standing ovation from everybody here at Cincinnati.
Somebody big just died. Legendary Cubs southpaw Ken Holtzman, who threw 2 no-hitters for the Northsiders, is dead at 78 years old. And here to help eulogize him is Mike North. Mike, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, Joe. It's good to see you, and it's a pleasure to honor Kenny. It really is. And
legend.
I saw the no-hitter. I've told the story on radio, wherever I worked at Fox Sports Radio, The Score, AM 1000. I told Carmen about the story. Talked about it before, Carmen DeFalco. I think the only casualty in the no-hitter might have been the fact that Santo couldn't control himself and almost basically killed him twice, just hugging him. Ronnie was an aggressive guy.
Oh, yeah.
My God, he practically strangled him. He was so happy. And I just want to start off and do this the right way in honor of Kenny. Not that we don't do it the right way usually, but I'm trying to be very respectful of this man because, I mean, I was a kid and watched him pitch. I knew how great he was. But before we go on, Joseph, we are going to go to Cumberland Chapels. And there's no doubt that if Kenny doesn't get, it's not in the St. Louis area where he was from, or, maybe he had stayed here in Chicago, he might have been laid out at Cumberland Chapels. If you're somebody, if you're anybody, if you're big, if you're small, if you make a lot of money or you don't, if you struggled your life or not, it don't matter to them. They treat you with respect. No family is left behind at Cumberland Chapels. I mean, the place has grown and grown because of the expert way they take care of you from beginning to end. It's not pretty when somebody loses a loved one. It isn't.
No, it's not.
And, you know that you're going to be taken care of there. You have these, they have 5-6 chapels there. It's just plenty of parking right there on the sides behind and across the street. Just great people. And if somebody does pass away, Joe and I know Aldo and everybody, Cumberland Chapels has been good to this show.
Very good.
We've all seen people laid out there. We've all seen how they organize things and how they keep it top shelf. Cumberland Chapels is the place to go. Definitely. And check it out. Well, don't check it out until you have to. And then, don't go in and go, I'm just checking to join out for me. All right.
It's good.
And then, and then we have, of course, a place I go to almost once a week now because my good friend Tino Antonacci, who I've known for over 30-some years, is there. And he is the father of the proprietor. Taught the kid everything he knows. And I've had the pleasure of seeing Tony Antonacci from the time he was like 12 years old to now, where he's the owner of this wonderful place, Pennyville Station. They just bought a building on the corner. It's going to be an outstanding bar area, restaurant type of finger food. There I am with Jesse Rogers from ESPN and one of my great friends. And it's a good time to be had by going to Pennyville Station. They got great drinks, great food. Just a people place. It's grown. I wish those places were there when I was in Park Ridge, but
right off the train station, Mike.
Well, we were at Edison Park at all the restaurants, and COVID sort of put a little damper on some of them.
Yep.
And they've all moved to Park Ridge and 112 Main Street, and just take it from there. but Pennyville Station's the place to go. And the place to go back in the day was Wrigley Field. I was a vendor there. Before we get to Kenny's exploits, he was born 1945, November 3rd, Kenny Holtzman. Dies April 14th in St. Louis. Born there, died there.
Died there.
Doesn't surprise me. His record was 174 and 150. His ERA was 3.49. His strikeouts 1,601. Look at him. I mean, I'm almost ready to cry because I was like, when they broke in, I mean, this team is more beloved. I'm not kidding. There's Joe Musho on the left. And look at the two, and 1966, I want to say, they pitched against each other. Koufax and Holtzman, and it was huge deal. Two Jewish pitchers. We were in a Catholic neighborhood, but I grew up with, I have so many Jewish friends, and there were 10 kids in the building that I grew up with. 7 of them were Jewish. Alan Rosenfield, Stanley Rosenfield, I know him, to Bob Seaman, you know. And I have a buddy that went to Sen with me that was the bat boy for the visiting team.
Oh, no kidding.
69. And if you go to Twitter, he's a former policeman. I've known Dennis Conley forever. And I remember being a vendor and saying, I was envious of Dennis. I wasn't like jealous of that. I go, man, I wish that was me. But Dennis has got a good thing, man. And we were always happy for him. We'd come down, say hi to him. And he'd always wear the road, you know, uniform. So we went down to see him that day. I was a vendor. So before I started work, I'd go say, hey, Dennis. He'd be out there with the team. And he'd have the Braves. He had the Braves uniform on. What was cool about being the visiting team bat boy, you got to try out all the uniforms and you got to experience every team.
Sure.
So in other words, he was down there when Roberto Clemente was there, when Hank Aaron was there, right? To me, now that I look back, I would have rather been the visiting.
That's the gig, yeah.
That's the gig. Pete Rose comes walking in. Johnny Bench comes walking in. And you're going, whoa. You know, Vada, Frank Robinson. You know, you see Santo every day. You see Banks every day. But that's a sidebar. So, I'm vending during the game. Now, we used to try to get done by the 7th or 8th inning. But in those days, you were packed. And it was even hard to get up the stairs. The people sat on the stairs. Well, they got a no-hitter going. Well,
yeah, nobody's getting up.
I run down in the 8th inning, and I get my pay. I stop selling. I run upstairs. And if you see the no-hitter, and show the no-hitter again, Joe, I want to, I'm to the, you don't see me, of course, but I was standing on down the left field line, the major walkway, the last tunnel. I had my hand. I'll never forget it. The ball's going out of the park. Let's hit it. You got it? Can you find it?
Yep.
Let's
one more.
That's well hit. And there, I believe, goes the no-hitter. Caught by Williams. Ball 3, strike 2. Here it goes. Ground ball. Beckert up with it. The throw to Banks. It's a no-hitter. It's a no-hitter for Kenny Holtzman. Look at this. Oh, brother.
Yeah. So great job.
Thank you.
I saw the ball. I mean, I'm not kidding you, folks. I was like almost even. I was at the end of the walkway there by the foul pole, looking even. I am not lying to you. What you're seeing, Brickhouse thought the game was done. We thought the no-hitter was over. The home run was going to come. We'd have the bat in the bottom of the inning. Probably, it was crazy. The ball's up in the air. I look at it. We all sink. There's a, oh.
Yeah. You could hear it on the video.
Oh. I go, oh, man. Now, keep in mind, I'm like looking at it. I'm 16, 17 years old. I go, I'm not going to see a no-hitter. And unbelievable. The ball actually, if you look, it's out of the park. And then Williams is, and it blows into the well area.
It couldn't have been hit anywhere else.
It would have gone out if it gone
Yep.
anywhere else.
Yep.
It goes and he catches it, and I'm not kidding you. It's like the ball stopped in mid-flight and dropped right at Billy, and Billy Williams couldn't even believe it. Brickhouse was stunned. I
Yep.
didn't hear that till I got home because we'd run home and watch the highlights, and the 10
Yeah.
o'clock news when I could stay up past 10 o'clock. Yeah, so it was just, and Kenny Holtzman was, I think you probably would have to say the forgotten Cub.
Oh, absolutely.
You got Jenkins, you'd always talk about, Billy Williams, Ron Santo, Ernie Banks, even the Cubs that were on his teams later on. He pitched the 1970 team was 84 and 76, I want to say. There he is with Oakland. That made me, but they won there.
Yes, they did.
They won there. And then the Orioles, he traveled around. I lost track of him when he went to the Orioles. Then he went to the Yankees. I don't think he ever pitched for the Cardinals. And
No,
that's where you would have figured he would have wanted to pitch since he was from there. His ERA was, like I said, 3.49. Pitched for the Cubs from 65 to 71. The 70 team finished only 5 games back. Now you say, well, okay. That was the first time since 45 that they were that close to winning, to coming in first place. Pitched for Oakland from 72 to 75, the heyday years. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
got hardware. Baltimore for 1 year. New York, 76 to 78, and the Cubs 78 and 79. He came back.
Back home.
He made buku bucks back then.
Oh, he did. He
made a lot of money, folks. And I think I read here he negotiated 3-year deals for $415,000 back in the late 60s.
A lot of money
70s.
back then, Mike.
That's mad money back then. And he pitched for Oakland, and he was raised Jewish. And in the Catholic neighborhood I lived in, Italians, Germans, Irish, we had a couple, we had some Hispanic, we had a couple black families in the neighborhood. But we went to Senn High School, and I had a lot of Jewish friends, Louis Portnoy, Teddy Sherman, Jay Grilly, all these guys. And the pride they had, not only in Colfax, and there's Raleigh Fingers with Kenny, just one of the regular guys. And look at this. The Cubs with a great send-off. The A's, next time, do a little research. Go on, Joe. Let it go, Joe. Right? They gotta do better than that, right?
Oh, they do. Do you want me to pull it up so we can break it down?
Pull it up and let's break it down. You can break it down, because I meant you got to let yourself fire on these guys.
I mean, this is the A's media team couldn't have done anything else. We're saddened by the passing of former A's pitcher Ken Holtzman, the 2-time All-Star and 3-time World Series champion with the green and gold. Holtzman created lasting memories for our franchise. We send our deepest condolences to his 3 daughters, Robin, Stacy, and Lauren, his 4 grandchildren, and all who loved him. A St. Louis, Missouri native, Holtzman pitched in Major League Baseball from 1965 to 79 for the Chicago Cubs, Oakland A's, Baltimore Orioles, and New York Yankees. It's just
tell me why.
There's
they didn't
no
go
emotion
over any
to
of
it.
its achievements.
Didn't go over any of his achievements.
Nope.
Just it's almost like they went to Chat GPT, which is like the AI thing, and they're like, write us a statement.
Yeah. And hear about this. He made $93,000 in 1975 as the guy that was coming down. But they took pay cuts with the Oakland A's. But he had plenty of money. He ended up working for the St. Louis Boys Clubs, like a community center in St. Louis. He went back home. He tried to be an insurance salesman. It didn't work out. He worked at the St. Louis Jewish Community Center. We called him in the neighborhood Super Jew. He was that bad. Now, oh my God, you did what? That's what we called him. He was so good. And we did a lot of respect. There's the team, the 69 Cubs. Look at Kenny. There's Joe Mush on the left. Look at I'm serious. And you know how many, did you see his stats, Joe? Let me
Oh
get to
my
Kenny
gosh.
Holtzman's stats. Let me ask the old lady. Give me Kenny
The old lady.
Holtzman statistics. Chicago Cubs baseball. Come on. Oh, here we go. You ready? He pitched 40 games. He pitched 24 games in 79. Let's go down. Let's go from bottom up.
That's insane.
34 games in 66. 12 games in 67. Okay. Thank God I remembered this.
Huh.
So we're getting better. Junkins is coming around. Banks has got a team around him. Santos the captain. We're a couple, maybe a year or two away. And then there's that year that I'll never forget when he had to go to the National Guard for 6 months during the summer. And he pitched on weekends, folks. And this is one of the greatest feats you'll ever see.
Yeah, it's insane.
He didn't go to spring training that much. I mean, he was in the Army, and I'll come home on the Army and go 9-0. I'll go 9-0 and then go back to duty. You don't even see that anymore.
You don't see that. And one thing you also don't see, Mike, is in 1970, he had 202 strikeouts. That's a lot for back then.
Well, they used to have, like, Nolan Ryan was a freak and Koufax was a freak. But you're right. Nowadays, that's not, that's considered an achievement, for God's sake, that what he did. And I just like the fact that he got to play on a winner. Like I said, his all-time record, and with the Cubs, when you look at it, his ERAs from 65 on, 2.25, 3.79, 2.53, in 68, 3.35, 69, 3.58, 70, 3.38. You want to talk consistent. You're going to get 8-9 innings out of the guy, maybe 7 at the least, and he's going to only give you up three a year. In 72, though, he goes to Oakland, 2.51. 73, Oakland, 2.97. Better baseball.
He was dynamite for them. And they had a great club.
Oh, Rudy, Jackson, Holtzman, Fingers. All they were fantastic. But Kenny Holtzman was one of a kind. I don't think, and he had more wins than Koufax. He pitched more games than Koufax. He had a lot of records that there's other Jewish pitchers. For instance, as a Jewish pitcher, and they keep records of this, he's the winningest Jewish pitcher ever. But there's other Jewish pitchers that have challenged him. Scott Schoenweiss used to pitch for the Angels.
Sure.
Scott Radinsky, who pitched for the White Sox, was Jewish. Sandy Koufax, but there weren't many. I used to tell my Jewish buddies, Louis Portnoy, he goes, what are you reading right now? My book on great Jewish superstars. It's only 4 pages. You know what I mean? I used to bust his ass. He goes, okay, have your fun and stuff like that. But Koufax and Holtzman are sublime. Koufax is
two of the best Jewish pitchers to ever do it.
Yeah, I mean, he threw 2 no-hitters. Now, my deal is I got to see a World Series in 2005 with the White Sox. I got to see a no-hitter. But after 60 years, you think there'd be more. We saw the 2016 Cubs. But I said this earlier, the 69 Cubs, I think, because of what happened to the 2016 World Series guys afterwards. I saw Baez the other day playing. They're playing Texas. He looks awful.
He's awful.
I saw Rizzo tonight making air for the Yankees.
He's looked better than everybody else, though.
Yeah. Bryant is a shadow.
I don't know why he got that contract with the Rockies. I couldn't tell you.
In my opinion, because I've seen them all, because of the loyalty, Santo, Beckert, I talked to at the fantasy camp when I went to the Cup fantasy camp. If you watch that ground ball, he almost blows it on the no-hitter. He's playing second base. He almost drops it. He gets down on one knee. He said he almost had a heart attack. It's one of those things, hit it to me. But if it doesn't come to me, that's okay, too. That's what he told me. It came to him. He knew it was up to him, and he threw it to Banks. But in my opinion, those teams from Fergie on, from 66 to Holtzman to Santo to Pepitone to Kessinger to Beckert to Banks. Those guys there, I think they're more popular than the 2016 World Series team as far as overall, because they were like family. These guys are gone already. One's in New York, one's in Detroit, one's in Colorado. What do you think of that assessment? Because I was there for all this, and I'd see them all the time. And
I think you're accurate, Mike.
10 years. So what do you think?
You're 100% right. I mean, people now, they just want to get the next paycheck. They want to perform and then be gone. Obviously, the Cubs broke up the team to a certain extent, but like Chris Bryant taking a contract with the Colorado Rockies, who have no team, to go out there and just be, and then his career takes a dump too. It's like,
and same with Baez. Even though Detroit's playing better baseball, Baez is a shadow of the man. They left the most perfect situation. These guys, they overpriced themselves. They got their big money, but they're recluses now. They're recluses.
And if they could redo it, they would probably stay in Chicago.
I agree wholeheartedly. So Kenny Holtzman, he leaves behind a wonderful family. His ex-wife, Michelle, just a wonderful guy, grandkids, kids. But he'll never be forgotten by me. And that game will never be. I talk about that game often, that no-hitter, because it was over. Aaron hit that ball so far, and I just couldn't believe. Now, somebody asked me on that picture, who's the guy with the suit? But BB asked who. Might be one of the Wrigley guys in the 69 photo, but Kenny Holtzman, God bless. Rest in peace.
Absolutely.
We love you. You performed and you had a great career. You played. Listen to this. They talk, these pitchers get injured all the time now because they're wusses and they train wrong and everything. He pitched from 1965 to 1979. Come on. 14 years.
Wasn't he like 16 when he started pitching? I got to look that up. I think he was very young.
Let me just check here. I know he was born in the St. Louis area. 19. Yeah, come on, Joe.
From 19 to 33.
Joe Nuxall did pitch when he was a teenager for the Cincinnati Reds. He's the youngest guy ever to pitch in the major leagues. He was 16 years old. Now, to Kenny Holtzman's family, condolences. To Cub fans, condolences. One, before we go, wasn't the biggest fan of his, but I understand greatness. That's one of the reasons we, along with Joe and Aldo Gandia, I put this thing together. I said, we have to recognize people even if they're not our favorites. I thought Whitey Herzog was some sort of I thought he was what we used to call a knob job in a way. Just a gruff, old school guy, 92 years old, but a winner, made Royal Baseball. It was in three World Series, won one.
Yep.
But if the nickname the White Rat doesn't tell you all you need to know, and he wore it proudly. Okay. By the way, Kenny Holtzman from St. Louis went to the University of Illinois. Whitey Herzog manages St. Louis, went to University of Illinois, born in Illinois. So, it's been one of those weeks. We decided to throw Whitey Herzog in. If it wasn't for Kenny Holtzman, he's not on because he wasn't going to be big enough. I'm sorry.
Yep.
He didn't manage here. He wasn't
just mentioning him. He gets the honorable mention, Mike.
Honorable mention. Yeah, we're going to start having to reshuffle some pictures. We're starting to get people coming in. There's more people. More people have died the last 3 months and been on the show than are at White Sox games. I'm telling you right now.
Did you see the day game today? There couldn't have been more than 500 people in the stadium.
I'm telling you, I played in front of more people at Dillon's Little League. I'm not kidding you. Back in the day,
you're right.
I played softball at Forest Park in front of 2,000-3,000 people. Mount Prospect, 1,000 people. Margate Park, Potawatomi Park for championship games, loaded with people. They can't get 500 people to that ballpark.
And they had tickets for $4.15 as a tax day special, Mike. And they still couldn't fill the seats.
They got nobody to go watch, really. That's the sad part. And they have been mismanaging.
They got nothing to watch.
People in Chicago have had enough. And then the last thing they should have never have done is say they're going to move. But anyway, That's another story for another genre, although they are dying.
Yeah.
Uh,
Real quick, Mike. Paul.
Go ahead. Did I miss something?
No, Paul in the chat. It's a great question. I wanted to address it before we leave.
I love when you address big questions.
He wanted to know if Ken is a Hall of Famer, and
he's in the Cub Hall of Fame.
He's in the Cubs Hall of Fame and the Illini Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's in Hall of Fame. I don't think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But
I don't think so either. But he's worthy. But there's so many other names that'll go in front of him.
Paul, it's always good to talk to you. We've been seeing you on Twitter for a long time. Go to North for mine. Go to Joe Mandel. If you have any questions about the show, let us know. On behalf of Joe and me, that's right, and Pennyville Station and Cumberland Chapels, and all you people that check us out. This was a special one for me. I didn't have to do a whole lot of research. I don't think I saw the guy so many times. Loved him. Great performer. Kept his mouth shut, just played baseball. That's what they used to do. On behalf of Joe and me, Cumberland Chapels, Pennyville Station, see you next week.
Take care, guys. See you next time.